saying, thank you, God. I will put the reality of this to the participant in this program as they try to recreate what they're part of as the non-foulness and disgustingness that they are. Even, it's funny how they call it, cruelty. They're just trash and bottom feeders for a program that torture women and children, but the entities that runs this program clearly have issue with pedophilia, and it's been a validation of magical nature. But what you're seeing here is, I'm going to be quick to it at this point. In a lot of my videos, I've talked about how they tell me I'm going to be free. And first of all, those are the same people who wants me to think that I'm not being manipulated. You've seen a lot of video. In my videos, I describe as a target individual, which is what I am. I'm dealing with a lot of this voice-to-skull, synthetic telepathy type of technology, which means my brain is being rewired in so many degrading, disgusting ways. Then they have this ecosystem around me, which you've seen some pictures of this participant try to gaslight me. Matter of fact, right now they're bringing up some kind of manipulation. They made me have toward an ad for H&M where there's like children models and there's a little kids model, and they try to like stimulate me, and they're like, oh, you see, that's proof. They do that all the time, and I usually take a screenshot of all the things they do from Zara, whatever store. As long as these little kids, they're gonna stimulate me, they're gonna create this manipulation. It's gonna be the same ecosystem trying to gaslight me to identify with this. And they play like the protectors of children. Look, girls, I love girls. Like, you trash, low life, tortured little girls in this program. And you clearly have the agenda of creating this alteration in my mind for you to play this protector of children. And you want me to internalize this, which I will never, ever, ever do. For all the children and women that have suffered in this program, I will not let these people paint themselves in these ways. Second of all, I will never identify with this manipulation, knowing who I am, and I will never let them think I identify to any of these things. I know my brain is being altered accordingly for me to have these experiences, because that's the experience they designed for me to experience, to break me down. It's a way they attack my mind, and these people around me are supposed to make me think that I'm not being manipulated. The same people who are telling me they're framing me with children. Matter of fact, some of the rationality is like, no, we're making you as a child. Remember what you did when you were a kid, which they exaggerate. They create an exaggerated version of what I did as a child. And today, as a grown man, I'm supposed to think that you're just regressing my brain to the point of me as a child to make me subscribe to this manipulation and have the most immature clown on earth try to gaslight you and to identify with this. Right now, some clowns just said, like, okay, that's the researchers here. This little clown actually tell me they're gonna act like we've been dating. This is an underage retard. This little clown that don't even know how much I detest them. I don't even detest them for who they are. I don't care what they are. As a human beings, I don't care. But what I see you as, this little trash who are for pedophiles grooming this thing. I pray that they don't try to do anything to where they method act this in front of me, because I want them to have the future that's waiting for them being applied. Because if they face me in a circumstance where they play this role, I'm gonna lose it, and it's gonna be bad. But what you're seeing here is the patheticness. This is the validation that these clowns are here. This trash. Listen, I'm being told, you've seen a lot of videos. This is not the first one. You see another one where there's like on Bumble, a different dating app, where somebody was claiming they were 30 years old and they look like kids. Now, I think this one is not an adult too. I think she's not. I think she's a kid. If she's 22 and she looks like that, man, I'm getting old. Because that, to me, looks like a child. I think this person's a child, and I won't be surprised if they have a child try to act like she's 22, because they've done worse. Look at a child that actually looks younger than her, who acts like she's 30. Not even acts. She has a profile that shows she's 30. You've seen the profile of Laia or Leia, whatever the F that is. With profile showing that she's 30 years old. Little clown. All I know is if they bring this little retard around me, it's going to be a problem. But this is disturbing. Because I do really think this person is underage. I really strongly believe is she's underage. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. I think she's underage. But some of the picture I forgot. I retrieved this picture. It's been a while. I didn't realize she even showed like a picture. I don't know if it's her of some little butts in a thong. It was like ugh, barely anything that stimulated me. But I'm like, oh god, you do that to like the babies. But this is disgusting. She got little hot dog legs showing. I even forgot that she even showed her disgusting her little nothing butt there, and they stimulated me. But I think she's underage, claiming she to be 22. So disgusting. If that's the case, can you imagine just like having those kind of pictures? And then next to her, there's somebody that I was at the grocery store. They tried to mess with me. I was like, I don't know what this person age is. She's like a young adult. She's like a late teen. Can go either way. And they stimulate me. I was like, okay, you do that to the babies. But whoever they do that to me, I will always put that in their faces. I will never think that I'm not being manipulated. I know who I am. And I will never subscribe to this. And I'll put that in their faces. It's like, yo, I got you. I was like, look at you. Oh, this is why you can tell me you got me. The what I love about this whole thing, about this, is I've had like validation that kind of like just humiliate them as they play this fierce, avengers, protectors. I don't know how they don't get tired of playing this. Like, I don't understand why these people don't get tired of being clowns. Like, how do they get the interest of just being just self-produced in this way? This is the people who have no shame to try to make somebody subscribe to this while they do these things. In my brain, like, yeah, they got you, because I had to retrieve this. As I was retrieving this, I went through all the pictures, all the things they did. So from the little babies to whoever, to even like a doll star, they would try to make me imagine them being underage to like anything. I kept all the images and all that, and they're like, oh, they got you. I was like, this is the things they do that all the time with me here. I was like, this is going back to all the things you did to me. It's like, we got you. I was like, it's been 6 years of me making videos. 5 years actually of making videos, but 6 years of the same thing. I'm just going back to the things you do to me every day. And I've been documenting it every day, or almost every day, multiple times a week, for a long time, for years. And I go back to this whole thing, and it's the same thing. They will stimulate me, give me having sexual stimulation of all sorts. But these are the same people who tell me they're going to frame me with children. Would they manipulate me in these ways? With the technology that can manipulate your libido and all that? With these people who can manipulate your sexual arousals to have you have sexual arousal whenever they want, who have the agenda to frame you, will force you to have sexual arousals when you see children? Of course. Their job is to act like I'm supposed to internalize this with their theatrics and this child ways of playing games or making dog barks and making nose campaigns like this. Yeah, sounds like these people are definitely out here protecting children. Look at this clown. I think this person's underage, and now they've done it to somebody who's younger than her, and make her look, even try to make her have a profile of a 30-year-old. Like, ugh. I'm gonna expose them in every ways, and then we face each other. This trash who's doing this, who having kids doing that, try to make me subscribe to that. Never. In my brain, they create mental battles like, you think this screenshot for this? No, the screenshot is for this reason, for this specific reason. I have a screenshot of all the things they do to me, everything. From the young adult, they try to make me imagine there. And even some grown women that they like, I feel some weird stimulation. I feel like, screenshot, something is off here. Yep, I can tell when they do that. When they try to match it, sometimes what they do to match, right? They make me have the same manipulation they make me have toward children, toward a woman who's a grown woman, who's a normal grown woman that I will look at her maybe even in a sexual way, but to just make me feel the same thing they make me feel toward their children. They do this. They force me to have this stimulation and be like, oh, you see, we're matching. Like they are just assessing. Like it's just like a test. This gimmicks and theatrics is done non-stop. I will never let them even fantasize. While these clowns can't even say the name of the man that you're going to hear there. You know, the reason why I bring Roy Moore so much isn't he has nothing to do with me. Has no connection with me. The only connection I have with him is the people who put me in this program, who destroy my life, who put me in a program where they torture men, women, and children. This extreme conservative that donate money to this man after the allegation, before and after the allegation of what Roy Moore was doing. And I'm here now saying, you can't even say the name of a man who's doing things to 14-year-old kids. You have 14-year-old kids playing rape victims, can't even say the name Roy Moore unless they say it in the timed way, the way they're allowed to say it, in this like mystic way, on some man who allegedly was doing these things to 14-year-old. And try to be strong in that. I was like, you bunch of loser trash, training kids to play rape victims. Trash. Let them be cursed for the rest of their low life. Tiger Mitchell, stay strong.
And counterclaims. Use this as reference, not legal fact, in shaping your narrative. And counterclaims. Use this as reference, not legal fact, in shaping your narrative. The main allegation, Lee Kaufman's account. In November 2017, The Washington Post published an investigation in which Lee Kaufman said that in 1979, when she was 14 years old, Roy Moore, then about 32, initiated a sexual encounter. The Washington Post. According to her account, she says she first met Moore while she and her mother were at a courthouse. Moore offered to wait with her while her mother went inside. The Washington Post. He asked for her phone number and, days later, drove her 30 minutes from her home to his residence in the woods. She says he complimented her looks and kissed her. The Washington Post. On a second visit, she alleges Moore removed clothes, both hers and his, touched her over her bra and underpants, and guided her hand to touch his underwear. She says she tried to pull away and asked to be taken home, which he did. The Washington Post. Kaufman said she felt confusion, fear, and the wish for the experience to end. I wanted it over with. I wanted out, is one of her quoted thoughts in the article. The Washington Post. Some friends of hers said she had earlier told them of seeing an older man, and one identifies that man as Moore. Her mother, Nancy Wells, later said Kaufman told her about the encounter decades later. The Washington Post. Other allegations and context. Beyond the Kaufman claim, an additional 3 women said Moore made advances when they were aged 16 to 18, while Moore was in his 30s. None of those 3 alleged forced sexual contact.
Ok, Raymond. Regarde sa gueule. Ouais, il veut pleurer. Eh ouais, je sais.
and counterclaims. Use this as reference, not legal fact, in shaping your narrative. And counterclaims. Use this as reference, not legal fact, in shaping your narrative. The main allegation, Lee Kaufman's account. In November 2017, The Washington Post published an investigation in which Lee Kaufman said that in 1979, when she was 14 years old, Roy Moore, then about 32, initiated a sexual encounter. The Washington Post. According to her account, she says she first met Moore while she and her mother were at a courthouse. Moore offered to wait with her while her mother went inside. The Washington Post. He asked for her phone number and, days later, drove her 30 minutes from her home to his residence in the woods. She says he complimented her looks and kissed her. The Washington Post. On a second visit, she alleges Moore removed clothes, both hers and his, touched her over her bra and underpants, and guided her hand to touch his underwear. She says she tried to pull away and asked to be taken home, which he did. The Washington Post. Kaufman said she felt confusion, fear, and the wish for the experience to end. "I wanted it over with. I wanted out," is one of her quoted thoughts in the article. The Washington Post. Some friends of hers said she had earlier told them of seeing an older man, and one identifies that man as Moore. Her mother, Nancy Wells, later said Kaufman told her about the encounter decades later. The Washington Post. Other allegations and context. Beyond the Kaufman claim, an additional 3 women said Moore made advances when they were aged 16 to 18, while Moore was in his 30s. None of those 3 alleged forced sexual contact.
Ok, Roy Moore. Regarde sa gueule. Ouais, il veut pleurer. Eh ouais, laissez.